Good morning, friends.
Morning. Morning.
Genealogy is a subject which has always fascinated me. It is described as an account of the descent of a person, family or group from an ancestor, or as the study of family ancestral lines. A chance conversation on this subject happened with President Meena and Club Secretary Sangeeta while driving to the district conference earlier this year, during which they very kindly suggested and encouraged me to speak on this subject. Thank you very much. I also humbly express that I am no expert on this subject, and my own curiosity on the subject has led me to read more about this. I request the audience to overlook any errors on my part. What's in a name? Asked William Shakespeare, who made these lines immortal in his legendary tale of star-crossed lovers in Romeo and Juliet. What we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. Makes us consider the simplicity of names. However, interestingly enough, it does mean a great deal. All these labels refer to the same person, and it's all about gaining a full picture and a greater context of a person and their life. While reading more about this, I came across how over centuries our human race chose names and surnames to identify each other. The history of names is ancient. In fact, no one really knows the origin of most given names. However, evidence from archaeological studies suggests that the earliest names likely had an original meaning or association to the individual. It is believed that during periods of prehistory, name pools formed within a culture or tribe. Parents would then select from the existing collection of names rather than invent new names for their babies. Even though these early names were descriptive in nature, prehistoric languages changed over time, leaving names somewhat fossilized and difficult to interpret as words were dropped and spellings changed. Surnames. In the Western tradition of names, the last part of a name is traditionally understood as a surname. However, Indian naming conventions are much more complex. The power of a surname is never more evident than in the case of the most famous surname in India. Can you guess which one? It's not Modi. It has the maximum number of roads named after it in India and all over the world. Gandhi. As if being Nehru's was not enough, Indira Priyadarshini's marriage to Feroz Gandhi gave the family a surname unsurpassed in political import. The Nehru-Gandhi moniker conflates the two towering giants from India's freedom struggle and showers an implicit legitimacy on the family. It is impossible to ascertain what role the surname plays in the tacit right that members of the family get conferred with to rule this country. But it is safe to say that it does play a significant part. The institution of the surname is a fascinating one, for it exists as a form of social address, by virtue of which one is located in the social universe we inhabit. The name is who we are, the surname a sign from where we come from and what we are a part of. If the name is a house number, the surname is the name of the locality in which the house is situated. The surname tells us that we are not alone. It reminds us of the fact that we are a part of a continuing chain of life and recalls what philosopher Alan Watts said about not coming into this world, but out of it. In addition, depending on different customs, the surname provides others with clues about where we are placed in this world by way of occupation, a place of origin, the father's name, and so on. And yet, just as some surnames radiate this mysterious power, in a more general sense, one may question, what value does this institution provide today? Everyone needs a name for purposes of identification, but do all of us really need surnames in this day and age? It is easy to see why the institution was needed in earlier days, when society was organized on the basis of where one came from, but what value does it have today when we are known not so much by our past, but by our present. In some countries like the United States, it is now legal not to have a name. In majority of cases, however, you cannot acquire licenses, passports, visas, property papers without one. Moreover, you can use letters or symbols for names like the way the pop singer Prince did when he officially changed his stage name to a love symbol. However, for normal mortals like you and me, surnames have a huge importance. Surnames have the same logic behind them as nomenclatures used in biology. For example, the scientific name of humans is presented as Homo sapiens. It's a way of differentiating between people or grouping people with the same characteristics. In this case, surname. And also, since the people with the same surname mostly follow the same religion and is passed on with generation, it can be linked to culture and heritage. Indian surnames. Indian surnames are not just labels, they carry with them a rich tapestry of history, culture, and tradition. The diversity of Indian surnames reflects the country's complex social structure, historical migrations, and cultural exchanges over centuries. In this talk, we will explore the significance of Indian surnames, their evolution, and the stories they tell about the people who bear them. Indian surnames have diverse origins, often tracing back to professions, locations, clan names, even specific events. Surnames in India also play a crucial role in identifying one's caste, community, or regional background. They serve as markers of social identity and often carry with them a sense of pride and belonging. In a country as diverse as ours, where hundreds of languages are spoken and various customs followed, surnames act as a unifying force, connecting individuals to their roots and heritage. Evolution and adaptation. Over centuries, Indian surnames evolved and adapted to changing social norms and historical events. With the influence of foreign invasions, colonial rule, and globalization, many Indians have adopted new surnames or modified existing ones to reflect modern realities. For instance, the addition of prefixes like da or das to surnames is common amongst many communities to denote respect or lineage. Similarly, like the anglicization of Bandyopadhyay to Banerjee, Chattopadhyay to Chatterjee, or how a Mitra became Mitter, made even more famous by Satyajit Ray and his Feluda, Pradosh Chandra Mitter. Historically, most surnames reflected the activities or jobs associated with our ancestors. These surnames and their frequency vary by region, language, and social group within India. It all got started when the professionals were drawn from different varna or castes and crystallized into a caste of specialists of their trade or profession. Soon this occupational specialization converted into hereditary and thus got established as surnames. Most common occupational surnames in India provide an interesting insight into how Indian society evolved and what individuals did for a living in order to earn an income. A lot of Indian business communities also pick their surname from their place of origin. The greatest number of Indian family names were derived from Sanskrit. However, a few occupational family names also came from Arabic Arbi or Persian Farsi. Diwan, Majbudar, record keeper, Malik, Sarkar, Saraf, Sood, to name a few. People were also awarded titles by native or foreign rulers, by the community, or by themselves. Some titles are simply honorific terms of address that have come down as surnames. So we have Bhatt for a lord, Nayak for a leader, and Sarkar for a lord. Chakravarti or Chakravarti is from Sanskrit Chakravarti, literally meaning wheels rolling, metaphorically a ruler whose chariot wheels roll everywhere without obstruction. Some examples of Indian surnames, along with their meanings and origins, are Patel. Patel is a common surname in Gujarat and Rajasthan, often associated with the agricultural community. It is derived from the word Patil, which means village headman or landowner. Sharma. Sharma is a Brahmin surname that signifies a person engaged in sacred learning or teaching and is widely used in North India. Singh. Singh is a common surname among Sikh and some Hindu communities in North India. It means lion and is a title of honor and associated with valor. Chaudhary. Chaudhary is a surname used by various communities in India, especially in North India. It traditionally denotes a village headman or a landlord and is also prevalent amongst Muslims. Seth, Sethi, Shetty, Chettiar, all these surnames are derived from the Sanskrit word Shreshti, head of a mercantile guild, and literally a superior person, since they were the best in community on whom you could trust on money matters. Khatri is a Punjabi and Sindhi surname commonly found amongst the mercantile and trading communities, believed to have originated from the term Kshatriya, which denotes the warrior caste. Huge number of Khatris migrated during partition to India. Kapoor. Kapoor is a common surname amongst Punjabi and Kashmiri communities. It is believed to have originated from the word Karpur, which means camphor. Desai. Desai is a surname amongst the is used by the people of Gujarat and of people of Marathi descent, traditionally denoted the head of a village or an administrative officer. Nair is a prominent surname amongst the Malayali community in Kerala. It is associated with the Nair caste, who historically held positions of power and authority. Srivastava originates from Shravasti, the erstwhile capital of the Koshala Empire. Jaiswal comes from an old town named Jais in Rai Bareilly, UP. These are just a few examples of the diverse range of Indian surnames that exist across the country, and each surname carries with it a unique story reflecting the cultural, historical, and social background of the people who bear them. I now come to the second part of my essay, focusing on the history and origins of the Agrawal or the Agarwal community. A small disclaimer from my side. This essay does not want to glorify or honor any one particular community, as a diverse nation is threaded together with several equally glorious communities who have contributed enormously to creating the rich fabric of India. However, being an Agrawal myself, my study till now has been focused on the Agrawals. The Agrawal community is a prominent and influential community in India and are traditionally associated with business and trade and are known for their entrepreneurial spirit and business acumen. The majority religions followed by the Agrawals include Vaishnav Hinduism and Jainism. Agrawal, anglicized as Agarwal, is the Hindu Baniya community. It is believed that the progenitor of the Agrawal Samaj, Maharaj Agrasen, a Kshatriya prince, is one of the descendants of Sri Ram and trace their ancestry to Ram's younger son Kush. One of their ancestors, Yayati, also finds mention in the epic Mahabharata. The prime goddess of this community was goddess Mahalakshmi, who had given a boon to the king that he and his descendants would always be prosperous. A popular historic belief is that the name Agrawal is probably derived from the extremely aromatic and expensive wood known as agaru or agar, a galocum, from which incense or perfume is made. This is what the community dealt in. Kautilya or Chanakya's Arthashastra also mentions that there used to exist a flourishing trade of the agar wood and was sent to various countries overseas. Another theory is that the name Agrawal may have been derived from Agroha, an ancient town in Haryana's Hisar district where Maharaj Agrasen established his kingdom. He is also credited for building the step well known as Agrasen Ki Bauli, near the Jantar Mantar in Delhi. Many Bollywood blockbusters like Amir Khan's PK, Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna, etc. have been shot in this location. By the way, there are murmurs of it also being haunted. Originally, the Agrawal community was Kshatriya, but after the adoption of Banya Dharma by their ancestor, Maharaj Agrasen, they started following the Vaishya tradition. The Banyas of northern India are really a cluster of several communities, of which are Agrawals, Maheshwaris, Oswals, and Korwals, to name a few. They are found throughout the northern and central India, mainly in the north and northwestern states of Rajasthan, Haryana, Punjab, Chandigarh, Uttar Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, Delhi, Gujarat, etc. They were also found in the Pakistani provinces of Punjab and Sindh, though at the time of partition, most of them migrated across the newly created border to independent India. The Agrawals have been historically involved in business and trade, including finance, textiles, manufacturing, and various other commercial activities. They are known for their strong business ethics, financial prudence, and community solidarity. Even in modern day tech and e-commerce companies, they continue to dominate. It was reported in 2013 that for every 100 funding for e-commerce companies in India, 40 went to firms founded by Agrawals. The Agrawal community is divided into various gotras, traditionally said to be 17 and a half in number. What is a gotra? Amongst Hindu communities, a gotra is a lineage or clan assigned to a Hindu at birth. It is believed to be descended from a common ancestor or sage from whom a family traces its descent. And why are there 17 and a half gotras? It is believed that Maharaj Agrasen had a large and prosperous kingdom but had no heirs. Desiring to have children, he conducted 18 yagnas, and for each particular yagna, the name of the gotra got established on the name of the guru who conducted the yagna. According to the 19th century poet and playwright Bhartendu Harishchandra, in his book Agarwalon Ki Utpatti, written in 1871, Maharaj Agrasen had performed 17 sacrifices and left the 18th incomplete, resulting in this number. Another theory says Bhartendu Harishchandra mentioned that Agrasen had 17 queens and 1 junior queen, but does not mention any connection between the number of gotras and the number of queens, or describe how the sacrifices led to the formation of the gotras. It is also believed that Maharaj Agrasen had 17 sons and 1 daughter, so when his daughter got married, the gotra of the daughter's in-laws was adopted as half gotra in Agrawals, thus 17 and a half gotras. Historically, of course, there has been no unanimity regarding the number and names of these 17 and a half gotras, and there are regional differences between the lists. The Akhil Bharatiya Agarwal Sammelan created a standardized list of gotras, which was adopted as an official list by a vote at the organization's 1983 convention. It provides the list of the following 18 gotras: Bansal, Goyal, Uchchal, Kansal, Bindal, Dhalan, Singhal, Jindal, Mittal, Tungal, Tayal, Garg, Bindal, Nangal, Mangal, Aaron, Madhukul, and Goyal. Goyal is the half gotra. Gotras are an essential part of all Hindu rituals, and many of us will recall the Pandit officiating a puja for us will always ask for the name of a gotra to start the ritual. It is an important part of the Hindu marital system, as marriages within the same gotra are generally not encouraged and are traditionally prohibited, due to the belief that individuals within the same gotra are considered to be blood relatives. Agrawal marriages are often arranged within the community, and customs and traditions play an essential role in these ceremonies. However, in modern times, this is not being followed very strictly. I would now like to ask the audience how many of us present who are Agarwals know of their gotras, and do we also know the gotra of our spouses? Please raise hands, and I would like to ask some of us present the names of the Gotras. Can a mic be passed around, please?
Gaurav, why are there two Bindals? There are two
Bindal and Jindal. Oh, Bindal.
Bindal.
Yeah, there's Bindal.
Then it's a spelling mistake, probably it's a typing mistake.
Rajiv has got a mic.
Yeah.
Jindal.
And your wife's Gotra?
Good question.
This foxes most of us.
I'm
Just pass the mic.
Take the mic, take the mic.
Yeah, mine is Bansal and my wife is Gaurav.
Mine is Singal and Abhas is Bansal.
Abha is?
Bansal.
Adit?
I'm a girl. And my husband is also a girl.
So you know we are similar. Ritu and I are both girl. And we realized this after we got engaged.
Yeah.
Your Gotras are same.
Same. It was too late.
So I'm a Bansal and my husband is Aaron.
Vikram.
I'm a Bansal. Shruti is girl.
Rohit.
I'm a girl. I'm not sure what it
So please go and check today. Anyone else?
I was Garg before I got married and my husband is Goyal.
Yeah, of course. We are Andhras.
Yeah, all communities have Gotras. Brahmins also have Gotras. Vaishyas also have Gotras. Vaishnavis also have Gotras. Everyone, Jains also.
I'm a Bansal, but my husband is partially. I'm guessing that's Kshatriya.
Right.
Is Gaurav is Maheshwari's Gotra different?
Yeah, absolutely.
Bansal and girl.
Someone else
That's
wanted
not
to-
saying.
Someone wanted the mic. Shivani?
I can see.
I'm
Goyal.
Goyal also.
I'm a Goyal and Vivek is Bansal.
Now you are a Bansal.
Yeah, no, I'm a Bansal. Yeah. Well, happened that
I
they
am
change after
Bansal.
marriage.
Yeah.
ये क्या है ये तो
It's a patriarchal.
ऐसे थोड़ी होता है.
ऐसा ही होता
Now
था.
God changed the
Now you can change it. Now
Abhi
ask the husband.
Abhi
Now ask the husband to change his Gotra to the wife's Gotra.
Actually, both should not change because Gotra is by birth.
How can God throw
Both is not by marriage.
But
Yeah.
if you observe your Kanyadan ritual, it says that from today your Gotra is not changed.
Yeah.
So Gotri has something to do with DNA. I think.
Husband's Gotra, right?
It has to do with it's the DNA actually. That helps in progeny.
Yes. So that's why marriages within the same Gotras were generally
Gaurav, Aranya is the same, I think, right? Aranya when we pronounce it,
Yeah, so see, all the way we pronounce names in India are all anglicized. So there are different spellings and different.
Got everybody going.
Okay, now I have to get back to my presentation. So can I please request concentration now? Thank you so much. The origin of some surnames and the Can I start?
Yes.
The origin of some surnames in the Agrawal community are like, within the Gotras, many families chose to adopt a surname indicating either their place of origin. For example, Jaipuria from Jaipur, Junjunwalas from Junjunu, Singhanias having originated from Singhana in Rajasthan, or Sheikhsarias from Sheikhsar. Some also denote descendants from a prominent or illustrious ancestor. For example, Mansinka from a Mansingh, Himmat Singha from a Himmat Singha, Himmat Singha from a Himmat Singh ji. The name Himka was derived from one of the ancestors whose name was Hemkaranji, belonging to the Jindal Gotra. The Khaitan surname came from an ancestor whose name was Khetsi Das ji. Some were based on profession, such as in Lohiyas who dealt in metal, Loha, or Ruiyas who dealt in cotton, Rui. or positions such as Kanungos, Khazanchi, Chaudhry, which were like titles or position. Podars is derived from the original word potedars, meaning treasurers or financiers. Potedar is actually an Arabic word. When the state needed money, it would issue a money warrant accompanied by a letter of credit to them. The Kedia surname has a very interesting story. A group of this family migrated for purposes of resettlement, and on reaching a particular spot, they found a care tree. Using a care stick, they demarcated and resettled in that area and were hence known as Kerias or Kedias. This tree exists even today.
Kedia is same.
Yeah, it's all the way you spell it. There are many such more, with several such stories and anecdotes as to how the surnames developed over centuries and is in itself a repository of our living history and heritage. The Agrawal community's contributions to India's economic and social fabric are significant, and their presence is felt across various sectors of society. Their spirit of enterprise, community bonding, and commitment to social welfare have helped them carve a distinct identity in India's diverse and cultural landscape. Many Agrawal individuals and organizations are actively involved in philanthropic activities, setting up of educational institutions, hospitals, charitable initiatives for the betterment of society. These organizations often provide support to community members in need and organize cultural events and gatherings. Many members of the community have excelled in various fields like politics, academia, and the fine arts. Conclusion. Indian surnames are not mere labels. They are windows into the vast and intricate tapestry of Indian society. They reflect the country's rich history, diverse cultures, and complex social structures. As India continues to evolve and embrace modernity, surnames will continue to serve as symbols of identity, heritage, and resilience, binding together the people of this vibrant and diverse nation like flowers of all hues and color in a fragrant bouquet. So I finally conclude by coming back to Shakespeare's question. What's in a surname? Hidden ancestry, lineage, mapping, and much more, I'd say. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Thank you.
In the South, we have a very different way of like naming and surname. Like the father's name becomes a surname,
Yes.
and the
even the
surname
place.
becomes
Even the
the
place
boy's
also.
name.
And also your village also comes into your name.
Yeah, but like many of them just have, so in a family they'll like George Thomas, for example. So Thomas becomes the next child, and George becomes a father, and it reverses,
And
and
similarly,
there will be many
like,
Georges and Thomases in the family.
Like a PT
Because
Usha.
that's just
PT is actually her father's name.
yeah. So that is initials are added, but this is like the name of the father and son just go on and on like this. They just keep alternating.
That is only the Jamaians.
No, even in Kerala.
Even Kerala.
And Kerala is interesting. Kerala is probably the only state which is a matriarchal society.
Yeah.
So
No,
even if
even
Very well researched. Beautifully researched. Great insight. Start preparing for your next topic.
Thank you, Gaurav, for unraveling the fascinating history behind our surnames. It was an intriguing journey into our ancestral roots as we delve into the origins and meanings behind our family names. I now request Retired Vineet Bagaria to give a formal vote of thanks.
Good morning. I never knew that Gaurav is into all this research and everything. I was wondering for ages and I had no clue at all.
It's in Jen.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Rotary brings out the best of us, I think.
Cheers to Rotary.
And like Sangeeta was saying, I hope that you give us a part 2 and a part 3.
Well, I hope I don't
We'll give you the topic.
And we look forward to more interesting topics coming from other members also.
Of course.
Speakers.
So for that you need to undertake a lot of journeys with him. Then it comes out, of course.
I know we all need to go for other projects together.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, I'm sure. I was wondering how did the surname come? So now at least a little bit, like we have an idea. And you can give us a brief if we're doing more research about how these American surnames come, or these European
So
surnames.
which is the most common American surname? Smith. It is, who said Smith? Smith is the most common American surname. But see, they're all Anglo descent. So their things are based on basically whatever was prevalent in the UK. And later then, of course, when Italians came.
Because I just feel that our Indian surnames have sort of some logic behind it,
Absolutely.
Like you explained. That.
What is a Brown? I would not like to be called a Mr. Brown.
So anyway,
No,
thank
but
you
we
very
have a
much
similar thing called Mr. Lal.
Lal means son. That doesn't mean color.
Yeah.
So it's like Nandalal means you're son of Nanda.
Anyway, thank you, Gaurav. It was a very, very interesting talk. And please give us a part 2 and a part 3 also. keep your research on. Thank you.
It's such a beautifully you said, as if you all got an insight as to
Rajiv
who we are.
Jindal,
Who am I?
yeah, we would like to give him certificate of appreciation.
I didn't know about this and why. I mean, we can't do like that in the program, but I didn't know why. I didn't even realize to ask if you advise.
Club Secretary Sangeeta Gulati will now read out the Secretary's announcement.